Very much. You start. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Heavenly Father, come before you today, just asking you to watch over this meeting, be with all of our citizens as they go about their lives throughout the week, and help our commissioners to make good decisions for our county. In Jesus' name.
These meeting minutes are from what date?
That would be the 7th, I believe. Yeah, because we don't have any for last week.
I'll make a motion that we approve the meeting minutes from 2 meetings ago, which was the 7th of October.
I'll second that motion.
Motion been moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And there's 2 sets of claims there for the 2 weeks.
2 sets of claims. I make a motion to pay the 2 sets of claims, one for $373,005.83. The other one's $613,139.96.
I'll second it.
Motion been moved and seconded for both those claims. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. David, do you have anything right off the bat?
No.
You said Sean had to get out of here pretty early. Is he available right now?
Yeah, I think probably so, and unless Don's got anything more than just a report, there's.
Don, if you want to come on, go ahead, come on and visit with us, and then we get.
Sure. I have the ambulance report for October 1st through 20th. Blue Mound had 2 calls, 0 transports. Centerville had 4 calls, 1 transport. Lacine had 10 calls, 2 transports. Montana had 2 calls, 0 transports. Lane had 1 call, 1 transport. Linn Valley, 8 calls, 6 transports. Rich Hill, 1 call, 0 transports. Mound City, 31 calls, 11 transports. Parker, 10 calls, 2 transports. Pleasanton, 17 calls, 9 transports. And Prescott, 6 calls, 0 transports, for a total of 93 calls and 33 transports for October. Any other questions for
Did you
me?
say Rich Hill?
Rich Hill. Rich Hill shows up on my reporting.
It must be their address.
I got you.
So
You guys got anything for her?
I don't. Thank you, Don.
Thank you, Don. Sean?
Sean West, Public Works. Commissioners, the 900 Road project, last I checked with Todd, is set, ready to go. Pipes were turned around. Thanks to Bourbon County, they brought or allowed us to bring up an X, and we turned the pipe around, got a good fit. And we're happy with the union on the eastern pipe. Soon as the engineer gives us the go-ahead that this fits the permit, we're pouring it and we're driving on. Until then, they're checking culverts and doing other projects.
Do you have a date on when that's going to happen?
I believe that's going to happen this week, that the engineer is going to check it, we're going to pour it, and then we'll be curing and going on to other projects. I have a document for you to sign that should have been in your packet. This is a supplemental agreement to the Hellsbend project. As you know, the project numbers were negotiated and changed. This agreement, the base of the agreement just says that the end or the total of our project cap is $180,000, and that's what we agreed to That's,
Who covers all the overages or the change orders and stuff like that? Who's gonna, does it state out who's responsible for that?
That-
Capping it?
that document caps our responsibility through the project at $180,000. If you read it, that basically is an appendix to the original agreement and says that our obligations end at that point. But they needed to attach that to the bridge file on their end because it was a new agreement and it was done after all of the other lettings and all of the other project totals.
So practically, if there's any change orders, the state's covering it?
That's what I read there. I'm not an attorney, but I can tell you that appendix caps our responsibility through the coverages at 180.
While he's looking at that, back to the culverts and stuff, have you guys, you said that they've been inspecting that. Have you got any results? I mean, have they came across anything that's horrible or that needs addressed yet?
They have not completed all of the results, but I'm being told that from the 3 foot and above, we can expect near 40% in some way, shape, or form needing either replaced or scheduling early for damage. So there is quite a bit of large culvert repair to be done in the future.
You got the copy? Yes.
No. I didn't see it in there.
I guess Sean, where I'm, I guess is more be a legal question, but if there's a huge change order and the state doesn't agree to it and we don't agree to it and the project's already started, who's liable for it?
Again, I'd have to go directly for that question. What I'm reading there is our cap and our responsibility to the project, and they cover engineering, they cover several different parts of the project, but that our total cap throughout the project is 180.
Who are we designating to be our owner's representative for this project? Is it you?
I will be signing everything at different points and different stages as an owner's representative because I did the right-of-way purchasing and are logged in through their system to do that when necessary. But as the owner's representative, you have hired Peppercorn Engineering to do the quality, the third-party quality for us.
Yeah, I know, but if there's a question that needs to be answered,
Through the state, through Hugh, and that would be from me to Hugh and
so
go directly.
so you're going to be speaking for us three pretty much that's where I'm getting at. Is that right?
Yes. I will be directly dealing with the state on any questions you have on the project.
But we're not overseeing it, so, I mean, it's,
Let's hope it goes as smooth as it sounds.
Hmm?
Let's hope it goes as smooth as it sounds. When's the start date on that?
They projected spring. I think it was projected for a late spring start date and a no later than mid-fall completion date. But I'd have to look at those exact dates on the last projection.
Well, all right, we'll go back to this. I'll make a motion that we accept and sign this supplemental agreement, number 1, between Secretary of Transportation, Department of Transportation, KDOT, Linn County, Kansas. And it is stating that the parties enter an agreement July 29th, 2021, off-road bridge replacement or rehab, and that we will cap the project at,
It's down at the bottom of that one
exact $180,000. So,
for the county's portion.
yep, for the 20% that the county has to contribute to it and no more. So I'll accept this, or I'll make a motion to accept this and sign it.
I'll second it.
Motion been moved and seconded. Any more discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I guess. I don't know.
Okay, per your request, I reached out to the rock quarries about the cost of rock and the increasing cost of rock. Both queries answered my question. Whitaker, although they were very polite and professional and offered to answer any questions directly, both offered to answer questions directly. Ham did send back a written response telling us that we did get a volume discount. They didn't want to go through their rating score necessarily. Obviously, that would contain information that they worked with contractors who then worked with the public and may give away financial information that is not beneficiary to some of their clients. But what they did want to tell us was that we were at the top of the savings list as far as quantity customers per ton, and that the 10% increase that was projected for most of their customers, we could possibly see only a 7 to 8% increase because of our volume on
Winning,
that.
winning. I like it.
Okay?
That was easy, right?
All right. You noticed that there was also a design summary sent to you. That is just telling you that I went out and met with all the parties involved and did the field check for 1095 from 152 down to 1650. A required field check had to be done and the paperwork had to be done. It was sent to you as part of your packet. I'm just letting you know that that project is also moving forward and that the meetings and the bases that we needed to hit on that project are being met. Federal fundage change was sent through, and I am under the understanding that that check has already made it back, and it was moved over to Special Road and Bridge to cover the 1095 projects that held been the extra striping, anything. It's money going back into that program so that we will have more funding in the revolving door of what we need to improve those roadway projects. I'm still working on valuations. Resolution 28 that you signed in reference to the school bus stop area or warning area on 1077. I drove by it over the weekend. The property owner has completely cleared all of those obstructions and cedars, and the signage will be going up shortly as soon as it's set. I cannot imagine, he did an amazing job clearing that line of sight, that anyone coming through those curves are not going to be able to see that bus from a long ways away. And I was very appreciative of the property owner and their cooperation with us. I think you set up times to finish some interviews through Darren while I was gone. You'll also notice that I, for your discussion and your discussion only, marked on here the Parker Senior Center as we discuss other buildings that we need to come to resolutions with. The Parker Senior Center still needs to be on the list.
Didn't we I remember talking about the internet or something there, but we were going to reach out to Parker to see if they wanted to take it. Is that?
I believe they are ready to do it. I think what we need to do is send it to legal and come up with an agreement and present it to them.
Okay.
So if we can move that to legal, I think that would be the next step in the process. The other longstanding issue that needs discussed is Queens Road. This is the road, as you know, that we marked. We had engineers looked at. We worked with Wildlife and Parks. We had several discussions about keeping it open. As you remember, Wildlife and Parks was agreeable to do some work with us. Unfortunately, they cannot put any money on a road they don't own. They can put work in kind, but work in kind would mean cutting trees and other things. That would be bulldozer work. It's not going to be very beneficial. My recommendation to you is to have a discussion between yourselves as to whether or not, like Zener Road on the other Wildlife and Park area, whether or not we need to abandon that section of the roadway so that the feds will own it, and so the feds can then spend federal highway funds to maintain something in their system and not spend county funds to maintain something on their property.
So in the meantime, I know we have our guardrail.
In the meantime, the engineer told us we have done everything we can to make it safe and that it's appropriate until a long-term decision's been made.
Okay.
But I believe the next step would be a discussion between yourselves, coming up with a conclusion as to what you want to do. I believe there's federal highway funds in the future that can take care of that and save county funds. It is on their property. It adjacents their property. If it's important to their infrastructure, then it should make the top of the list for them to fix. I believe it is in the county's interest to give this roadway to them so that they have the ownership to put money into it. The problem is not them not wanting the road or not wanting to spend money on it. The problem is they can't legally spend money on something they don't own.
And the only place it goes is to their property, right?
Right, and it's more of a short, it's the area G, and it's more of a shortcut, and you go around, 4 more miles and get to the same place
Yeah.
on a maintained road?
I think this is a discussion between yourselves and then a discussion between legal about what needs to happen with that roadway.
What about with the railroad? Do they need to be contacted since they have a
We would,
trestle there?
we would end our section, and that would be the legal discussion. We would end our section of that road right before the railroad right-of-way, giving access to the last farmer's gate on the east side of the roadway.
Which is before the trestle. Nobody's taking any.
That is before the trestle, and they would take over after the trestle. So I believe, between the surveyors and the legal, that this can be done pretty clean, because the railroad cuts the line in which we would separate that roadway. So if that's agreeable, I believe that's also something you need to direct me who to direct in legal, and I can give them the project and they can start working out the legal descriptions of how we pull this apart.
Jason, that's I can't remember where the line is. I think it's right between you and I, but what do you think on it? I know that you kind of had.
I still think that we have citizens that use that road, and
I agree. I use the road. Yeah, I agree. But there's no farm equipment going down that road because the trestle's too small. It's a wooden trestle.
right.
And there's no landowners besides us and the state, right, on that road, correct?
The wildlife,
Or wildlife parks, and then we own part of the hill or whatever. Is that right?
they own
They own
the
it.
side of the hill
Okay, so they're on.
that we would have to dig into. We would have to get their permission to move into the side of the hill.
So what's wrong with how it's working right now? I mean, I know we have the sloughing issue and things that way, but it's one lane for traffic, right?
The problem is it's going to continue to slough and there's no long-term fix. I believe federal highway funds and their engineering group would have the ability to create a long-term solution to it and have the funding to do it that we don't with all of the
Right.
flooding and all of the other damage and the whistles that we have coming up here in the very near
I
future.
mean, I'm not liability stance on it. I think that we're,
So
liable.
if we're covered for what we've done, if we've put the proper signage out, reduced it to the 1-lane road and things that way so that we're not encroaching and keep an eye on it, what's the problem in keeping it open for
Well, I just think
the people that are using it?
Well, I just think next rain season, it's going to be the same. It's going to keep washing away and we're going to keep putting money into it. The the people's tax dollars on something that you can get to the same place that road takes you both ways. There's actually three
Right.
ways to get to it. Which,
Now, if we give it to them, will they continue to keep it open?
that's what I wonder. If we-
That's my,
Local
I'm just-
traffic?
I'm just telling you,
I believe that
my
it may be
concern.
beneficial, instead of talking to the well-intended local agent, to ask that his boss come in the room and talk about the possibility of federal highway
Yeah.
funds and what would happen, what
Make sure it stayed open.
would happen if we did
my
that.
concern.
I mean,
It stays open.
I agree. I mean, can we vacate it and then can we vacate the road and who would it fall under if we vacated it?
It would go back to the landowners, which is the federal wildlife.
And I mean, if they
Department.
wanted to use it and make it
But then if we do that, there's no saying that they're gonna keep it open for our public to use. Right?
Well, the benefit, my understanding from talking to Wildlife Parks, the benefit to it is all of the wildlife tourism.
fishing.
So they want that road for that tourism, but we may want to talk to the managers
Okay.
and
Make
not,
sure that we get it in writing that they are going to continue to keep it open for everybody
Yeah.
that chooses to use it.
Or if they don't, I mean,
and
I don't have no issue with helping them, if.
And even if
or
we
whatever, if they
even
want
if we gave
concrete
them the
blocks,
road,
whatever.
doesn't prevent us from partnering with them to work on the road. What prevents them from partnering with us is they don't own the road. I mean, they can't put money to a road they don't own. If they owned it and we chose to partner with them to keep it open to the public, we would be in a better position. And I think probably having a meeting in the future with their management staff to have that discussion would move this project down the road.
So, and then there's then going back to Zener Road Bridge, is that, while we're talking about it, did we take that off the inspection list of bridges?
Yes.
Okay, just make sure. All right. What are you saying, Jason?
No.
You guys got any more on it? I mean, what do you, good to see, or,
Need to meet with the proper person that decide
I agree.
it stays open.
and I'm all about keeping it open. I just don't want to keep year after year putting more money into, if they're not going to help. I mean,
And I'm with you on that, but
But just verify to the public that they are going to keep it open,
correct.
if we give it to them.
is there any way we can get a hold of whoever we need to in a?
I will
manner?
reach out to them.
Have they reached out to you at all over it?
It's been kind of a slow train project that has gone nowhere for some time because we've been at a standstill about what they can and can't do and the other projects we've had. So I will reach out to them. I have two things as far as bids. I got no roofing bids on the bids that I sent out on the hail damage. So I'm going to have to probably get with Randy and see what he's capable of getting done with this damage. Obviously, the gazebo is a whole nother project, but we do have this building and the 4-H building. So I'm going to have to reach out to him and see what we can get done on those buildings to make sure that they've been taken care of. I also need to go out to bid for salt for this winter. With your permission, I'll go ahead and put the RFPs out for that.
Sounds good.
Did we check on the pricing as far as lining the blacktop roads? Did we get any prices on that yet?
I have not got those prices, but I will work on that later this week when I'm back. And I believe I can have it by next Monday.
Okay.
You have all of the updates from the other departments. Jesse is telling me they are on to lagoon number 3 and that that project will be done shortly. They're doing an amazing job. They've got 2 cells done and out of the way. This morning, Wildlife Park is doing gill netting up there to check for fish, and we're assisting with 1 or more volunteers and personnel up there.
I saw on the internet, Sean, or on, I can't remember where I saw it, maybe Facebook or something, that are you?
No, we're good.
Okay.
Good.
About that dock, I know we had talked about the dock that got pulled over. I saw there was a volunteer team that's going to help put it together. Is that true, or?
There is, if we choose to use them, there's a volunteer team that Sherry's put together. I can get the updated details for next week and get approval, but there is a group that has gotten together and said if we buy the parts, they'll put it together.
And the old dock's still there, but it's looking pretty.
It will have to be pulled out, and the
We have
mud
equipment there. What I'm getting at is we have.
and the mud
equipment there
poles
right
will
now.
have to be pulled out.
We have equipment there right now that is capable of pulling the old one out, right?
We have equipment capable of pulling the dock system out. I don't know about reaching out for the mud poles.
Should we go ahead and, with how that thing looks and the liability, should we go ahead and do that before we take any of that equipment off there?
I'll talk to Jesse and see while that equipment is out there, what we can get done.
Okay.
Okay, I think that'd be good.
The rest of the summaries, unfortunately, I can have you read and catch up on. I do need 10 minutes of executive time for non-elected personnel with you before I leave.
No, Sean's in a hurry. You guys got anything pressing that we need while we have him up here?
I don't.
Jim?
I don't.
Sean, you got anything else that you need to talk about right now?
Not until we go to executive session for non-elected personnel.
Well, let's go ahead and get Randy. You guys want to go ahead and get Randy out of the way, and then we'll go ahead and do the executive session right after that.
That would be fine. Thank you.
Sean.
Good morning, Commissioners. Randy Higwald, Linn County Rural Fire and Emergency Management. I sent out this week's call summary. We had 10 calls, brings our yearly total up to 437. Just a reminder to the public and everybody, we are doing a search and rescue emergency management exercise this Wednesday from 6 to 10 at the Linn County Fairgrounds. We will have the Linn County Fairgrounds shut down for that event. Another reminder, a lot of these, over the last 2-3 weeks, we've had a lot of calls that we get sent to, and what they are, people burning brush piles and stuff like that. They're failing to call in to get burn permits. So just kind of a reminder to the public to call in that burn before you start it. Saves us from getting paged to a burn that's under control. So
Is there I mean, I know we don't know if we've ever had it, but is there repercussions if you don't and it gets out of hand?
very little. That is something that needs to be addressed eventually, is the
Do you
burn
feel like
permit.
that we get,
Right now, there's no teeth to it, is the problem. So the only thing that really has any teeth is if we issue a burn ban and then they start the fire. But as far as just if somebody goes out and burns something today, with no burn ban, there's really no repercussions.
so what happens if there's a burn ban and somebody starts a fire, we don't know about it, and it gets over into neighbors and there's a big.
We can actually go in and charge them for our time and everything like
We
that.
talked about it one time. I don't know if that's.
Yeah. I think it's been
Did that
done.
a couple different times.
Do you think, do you think would help with the issue if we had some repercussion on it, or you think it's okay how it is?
I think we should put a little more teeth into it where, hey, we go out the first time and increase it that way. So we go up first time, we educate them, hey, don't do this. Next time, I don't know if we can write like a codes ticket or look at finding them somehow and saying, okay,
With all your years in it, is there a typical price that,
usually,
I'm not trying to hurt,
yeah,
but what's, something?
What we've done before is, what I've seen in other counties is like, first time we come out, we warn you, second time it's $50. Next time it's $100, and it just keeps going up. And every time you don't call and we have to show up, then they just increase the fines until, so,
How do you guys feel?
Per landowner is what you're saying? Or?
yeah.
I feel like that we put a lot of effort and stuff into putting over in the telephone system and with you doing your research. I mean, I think it would.
Yeah. Cause it's the same people every year that we're getting that I'm going talking to them and saying, hey, you're supposed to call this in. Yeah, I know. And they're not going to call it in. But if you put some teeth to it, it may get them saying, hey, yeah, I'm going to call this up. And so.
What are you going to say, Jason?
I'm good with them with putting some parameters in place.
I think what we've got now was set by resolution, so you need to go back and review that resolution and figure out what you want to change.
Okay. Can you send that one out to us?
Yeah.
Are you good with that?
Yeah, I'm good with that. Another thing I have is I have a application from one of the junior firefighters to become, he's turned 18 and would like to become a full-time firefighter at the station 910 here in Mountain City. It would be number 10 out of 15, Simon Shiletto. So just like permission to hire him as a probationary firefighter pending pre-employment.
And he's coming up out of the junior program, right?
Yeah, he's been with us as a junior firefighter 9 months or so.
So from him to just a regular volunteer starting out, I mean, is he well ahead of where?
Yeah, he knows how to run the trucks, pump the trucks and stuff like that. So that gets him that head start where now we can, once he's on and granted at 18, he can drive the trucks. We can get him trained to drive it and move him up quicker. So
How's that going with you, with the ones that's still in school? Are they allowing them to get out of school any? Or?
we haven't had really any instances during the day that it's affected during school, like a big event where they've had to get out of school. Now, Simon is homeschooled, so he has a little more flexibility than some of them to respond during the day. But so far, we've been good with not pulling them out of school. So, and they're all, I check with them, they're all still doing good grade-wise, because that's one thing I talk to them about when they come on is, hey, I kind of treat it like sports. If you're failing in school and you can't participate in sports, you're not going to do this.
So how do you do like recruiting for that? Do you have like a career day at school, or do you go in there?
We've done career days in the past. Right now, we're getting a lot of applications sent out. There's a lot of community events that we're handing applications out. We've got some more out. We're just waiting for them to get returned from various school districts. So
I like it. I think it's good. You guys got Simon Shiletto?
yeah,
You guys got anything? I mean,
I'll make a motion that we approve the hiring of Simon Shiletto for the Mountain City Station for voluntary fire department on approval of his pre-employment screening.
I'll second. Motion been moved and seconded. Any more discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
The next I have for you is I have a repair estimate from Oaks Ford. It's for a 2010 Ford F-50. It's the Mountain City Station 910 brush truck. It's a 2010 with 12,000 miles on it. Both catalytic converters are plugged up and need replaced. And with them being plugged up, it has cracked the exhaust manifold on the right side. It's something we can't do because you have on the right side, it has to be, you have to pull the engine to get to it to replace it. The estimate is for $5,297.46.
It's only 12,000 miles, what you said?
Yeah.
When do you, in your plan, when do you plan on replacing that? This could still be a while?
Yeah, it has 12,000 miles on it. We can run those for quite a while.
The flatbed ones, or is that?
Yeah, that's the flatbed pickups. And that's probably one of the higher mileage ones. A lot of them have less than that on it. So I'm kind of curious. And I talked to the mechanics out there at 12,000 miles why the catalytic converters have plugged up on it.
Is that from driving it, or is that?
Well, it's when we drive them, we're driving them hard. And so it's building up heat and should be burning anything out of it. So once they get into it and look at inside of those converters, maybe there's other issues that we don't know about yet. So,
But right now, the bill's 5,200, you said?
yeah.
Will they be able to tell us any maintenance on the other ones?
So they kind of, when they were going through this, they said they can pull, there's codes, not like we would see an engine code, but they can pull codes up and it'll tell them like different heat sensors that have went off. And so we may be able to get those in and look at them. We have a scanner ourselves, so it's something that we're going to start going through and looking at the other trucks, see if we're running into issues on it. So,
Cheaper than a new truck.
yeah.
So it should have cost me.
And if you look at that bill, most of the price, 3,000 of that price is just for the parts of those catalytic converters. They're expensive. So
I'll make a motion that we approve the Oaks Ford replacement bid of $5,297.46 for the brush truck 2010 Ford.
I'll second. Motion been moved second. Will this come out of the special equipment fund, or is this just
we budget for repairs every year. So
okay? All right. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
just one other thing, and hopefully I get the information today. I'll send it out for you guys as soon as I get it to look at next week. So last year in August, we upgraded our air packs. It was something that was agreed upon through Draeger before I ever come on board when they purchased these packs. But what that did was these newer packs, we're not able to do our annual fit testing. Our machine's old and can't be upgraded. At first, they were telling me I could upgrade it with some just different parts. Now we cannot get, it's old enough they cannot upgrade it. So I'm working with them to get a price on upgrading our machine. But these machines are very expensive. And when I say expensive, probably 12,000.
How do like Hume or like other little tiny stations like how do they do it?
A lot of those stations don't. Then that's a problem because it's required to be done annually to be fit tested.
Is that something that we could contract with them to help, all work together and take care of that price for that? Or, I mean, is that something, or is that not a good idea?
That's one of those things. If we're testing,
Everybody else's stuff puts us liable.
yeah, because what it is it's just testing not the mask. It's testing how the person wears the mask and make sure they're properly putting it on, not getting any air leaks.
Screen and
Yeah.
So you're putting your name on everything pretty much as a
Right.
instructor, if you would, or whatever.
Right. So that's one of those things. If we're doing it for local cities in the county, they're running the same air packs, but that's part of the problem is we're running the Draegers and Hume may be running Scots and we can't, they don't connect the same. So the fittings are different. We'd have to buy extra fittings to do that. So, but with this machine, we can do like if Johnny or anybody else is required to wear just respirator masks, we'll be able to do those as well. So,
Sounds like you gotta do what you gotta do. So.
okay. And I'll send out the information. The problem is with just thinking I was going to get by with buying parts, I did not budget for it. So that's something we'll probably have to take out special equipment on that. So
Did you work on your truck?
they thought May the second weekend in November would be, I don't think buying new trucks is the way to go. It sounds like this one has a lot of problems. So hopefully they get it done. We get it down here before it gets too cold.
I don't have anything else for you.
I don't either.
All right. Thank you.
Andy.
All right, this time Sean's gonna get at us. I'll make a motion that we go into executive session for 10 minutes with Sean West for non-elected personnel.
I'll second it.
Motion and move second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, we do, we're back in session. We do have a few items here of action.
Commissioners, I would ask that you terminate and remove from administrative leave at this point and thank him for his service, Kevin Amer, at this time, and direct a letter from HR to go out to him instructing him that his employment is no longer active with the county.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second. Motion been moved and second. Any more discussion? I do want to thank him for his whole time he's been here and what he's done. So thank you, Kevin.
Agreed.
I hope everything works out for you and you keep on going. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
The second is that I would ask that you accept a letter of resignation from Planning and Zoning Director Darren Wilson. And along with accepting that resignation letter, that in the interim, you give me the ability as a supervisor to sign any building or sanitation permits until someone is able to fill that position, and ask David to post that position immediately.
I'll make a motion that we accept Darren Wilson's resignation and go out for or advertise it here immediately.
I'll second it.
Motion been moved and second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I want to thank Darren. When I first got here as a commissioner, that was a department that we were trying to work on, and he stepped up, or he came to work for the county and then stepped into that position. And it came a long way since I first became a commissioner, and I grown to like Darren a lot and have a good relationship with him, and I appreciate everything he's ever done. And I know this last year was probably hard on him and his wife and his family, and I just want to thank him and hope him nothing but the best.
As a formality, you are okay with me in the interim signing those permits as the Planning and Zoning Director supervisor to keep those building permits and sanitation permits going until you fill that position?
Yes.
I'm good with it.
I'm okay. Yep.
Commissioners, that's what I've had for you today, and I thank you for your quick response so I could get out of here.
All right,
Thank
Sean,
you,
be
Sean.
careful.
Thank you.
We have a phone meeting scheduled for 10:30. We need to keep on schedule for. Really, the only other thing I had before that is we've got a surplus property resolution for some sheriff vehicles. If we could get that taken care of.
This is a resolution to sell some property from the sheriff's department. It's resolution number 2024-29. And the property is a 2017 Ford Explorer, a 2017 Dodge Charger, a 2016 Ford Explorer, and a Polaris 700 Ranger. And I talked to Under Sheriff and intern sheriff, what do you want to call it, whoever, and asked them, I think they're going to put this on a government bidding site, auction site.
I believe so. I have a little bit of information that James sent me on each of those vehicles if you want to hear anything about it. The Explorer, he said, is unsafe to operate and financially cost prohibitive to repair. It's got 220,000 miles. The Dodge is damaged and being used for parts to keep other vehicles going. The other Explorer has electrical issues and is unreliable and has 200,000 miles. And then the Ranger has electrical issues and motor issues and is unreliable and would cost a lot to replace. So that's the reasoning behind it.
Are you guys good with that?
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 2024-29, a declaration of surplus property.
I'll second. Motion been moved and second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Now, David, so James, is he going to be sworn in to be appointed sheriff, or how's that going to work?
Yeah, so the Republican Party did pick him to be the replacement. That recommendation went to the governor. The governor, after I look back at the statute, I think actually has 7 days to make the appointment, and if not, he takes office anyway. I don't know if he's got the letter yet. I haven't talked to him today, but the time should be running out on that. So I've got an oath form already ready for him to swear him in.
And he'll come over here and we'll do that over here.
Well, I don't, if he wants to come here and do it, or I can just go to his office. I mean, he just needs to take the oath and sign it. And that'll get him, and that covers the rest of this term, which would expire the second Monday in January. And at this point, he's the only name on the ballot for sheriff. So and no one has filed a write-in affidavit on that race. So he will be elected since no one's filed an affidavit.
Well, welcome, James. All right. Well, we have interviews. What time was the interview? 10:30? No, that's illegal.
It's a meeting with an attorney by phone at 10:30 now, and I don't know if we could. I mean, I may be able to get a hold of him and see if we could bump that up a little bit if you don't have anything else.
What about the personnel executive session?
That was taken care of with the one we just had.
Okay.
That was
Do you guys have
one part of
any-
that was what I had on there.
You got any time? Executive session? No. All right. Well,
Do we want to talk about yeah, we can do public comment, but do we want to talk about the economic development?
yeah.
If we have a little time between there and the,
Yeah. What time is it? I saw his text the other day, but I was out.
What
I was in
text?
surgery, but
Okay.
whatever time. You know what time they are coming in? Is that today? Right.
no, I don't know what you're talking about. I was just
Mistaken.
going to talk about the position that we've interviewed for and the other applicants that were sent to us.
We got like 2 applicants now, right?
Right.
Are any of them coming in today?
I don't.
I don't think
I don't
anything's
think
scheduled.
we had anything
No, we
scheduled
don't.
today. I know there's one.
One other that's
Yeah.
interested, I think. right?
I know
Okay.
we've got one tentatively scheduled for next week.
Oh, no, next week. Okay, I had it.
Yeah.
confused.
Okay.
Then I saw in our show.
So,
there was a,
so we have an interview for next week.
Yes.
I think that's what Darren said he was going to see.
I think we have
Okay.
one that's scheduled, and I think there's a couple more apps that
Applicants in there.
we've
Okay,
This
so
is-
do we want to go back and talk about the applications and see if there's anybody else we want to interview?
That's fun.
Okay,
so we'll do that after
after
10
public
minutes
comment.
or whatever. Okay. Well, this time we'll open it, or this time we'll open it up for public comment. If you have a comment, please come up to the podium, state your name and your date of birth, or your.
Make sure they're old enough.
Your address, your name, whatever. Say whatever you want up there. You know what you gotta do. No public comments? Okay.
Did you get the interview set up for?
That's why I came in here. That interview is set up for next Monday and David's
Then
gonna.
we have 2 others that put applications in there.
Okay.
Thanks.
Hi, I want to mention, my name's Les Warner. I'm the new president at Tanglewood Lake Association. Just wanted to come in and introduce myself, and don't have much going on right now until I figure out what the heck's going on. So, but I would like to talk to you, Jason.
What was your last name?
Warner, Warner.
You said Les.
Les, yeah, Les, 1 S. Don't put 2. I'm not less of a man.
What's your birthday?
Yeah, what's your birthday?
Oh, yeah. February 16th.
All right, well, you can make public comment then.
And so I've been out there for about 12 years. Our previous president resigned, so I was kind of lassoed into this one. So I'm trying to get my feet on the ground and figure out what was in the works as far as, county issues that we have out there. I know we have a few, but we'll see what we can come up with. And so sometimes just like do a quick talk and with Jason, with our district guy. But that's all I had. Thank you.
Thank you, Les.
Okay, so are you guys getting ready to go talk about applications?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless you got something else.
No, I don't. I just wondered how long you want for that, and would you like me to try to get a hold of this
10
attorney and
minutes.
see if we can bump him up a little?
10 minutes, let's see if we can get the other
We'll do it.
10, 15 or something.
A 10-minute executive, which would be personnel, right?
Non-elected
Or
personnel, yep.
Non-elected. And then we'll come back and,
Yeah, I'll try to get a hold of him while you're in there and, see if we can get that bumped up a little bit so we can keep things moving.
Perfect.
all right, I'll make a motion to go executive session for 10 minutes to talk about non-personnel or non-elected personnel, referring to the applications that we've received for the economic development position, and we'll discuss it. So, and we'll be back at, was it 10:07?
Yeah, it should be about to switch.
I'll
to
second
8.
Motion been moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
did send a message to the attorney we're gonna talk to, but he has not responded yet, so I don't know if he's gonna be available till 10:30 or what at this point.
My guess is that's when we'll get to see him.
Did you guys, or do you got anything else to discuss between now and then?
I don't think I have anything.
I have one thing, David, I just want to see where we're at on is the KPNF for the sheriff's department. I know that we're coming up on our deadline to get something signed with them.
Yeah, and I need to check and see if they need minutes or what, but I'll make sure we get that
Okay.
ready for next week if there's something we need to sign off on.
I know that last month was our last night meeting. Well, I didn't know that until today. I forgot, but whatever. You guys informed me. What you guys' thoughts on that? You guys wanting to try to continue that? I don't really feel like I have a whole lot of opinion on it because I'm on my way out. So it's up to you guys, I think. What do you
I would
think?
rather just keep going with the day meetings.
Jim?
I don't care. Guess if you don't feel like you can wait and see till the new.
That's fine too. Yeah, that's fine too.
And we just stay where we're at now until the new commission comes in and we'll decide if you don't.
That'll be fine.
If you don't have an opinion on it, I guess.
I mean, me personally, I mean, I like it. I like the involvement and, I mean, do you guys want to continue it for the next few months until the new, at one time a month at night or?
I would rather just wait and see what the next one wants to do.
You good with that, I guess?
I guess if you're not going to be involved in it, it's just.
I mean, I would like to, next week, I would like it to be a night meeting. You know, I'd still like to do it once a month. I feel like it gives a lot of
I'm
people an
good with that.
opportunity.
If you want to continue to once a month, I don't care. I mean, it's till the new commission comes in and when we decide then, I'm fine with that.
I mean, I feel like it benefits us in any way, but it puts a little more on our shoulders. But I think the public gets a lot more input and we get a little more involvement. I think they really like it. So.
It's just 3 more, I guess, and we'll decide then.
So let's continue on. So next week will be a night meeting then?
Night meeting.
Okay, you've already got an interview scheduled in the daytime.
Oh, we do.
Scheduled for this next week, so I guess we'll have to.
And the week after that is election night before, and we'll be set up for election in here.
Right.
We can come back to that. Maybe you can reach out to our interviewee and see if they can make the night meeting.
So leave it at 9 for
now. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think we'll discuss it before we adjourn again today. Maybe I can go talk to Darren and see if we can rearrange that or talk, reach out to the applicant and see what they think. And I guess if they can't, they can't. So are you guys good with that? And we'll make a decision before we adjourn today.
It's fine.
Do you guys got anything?
I don't have any.
I don't.
How's the QR code thing going? Is that up and going yet?
Not yet. I've been swamped with
No, I figured.
stuff.
I was just curious. I haven't.
No, I will get it up. My goal is to get it up before taxes go out.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. So hopefully by the end of this week, and then I'll get them into the.
Gotcha. No rush. I was just curious. I haven't
What
been.
about our website as far as keeping it updated?
The county website.
Yeah, the county website.
Um,
Who does that?
IT does that.
Chris does it.
Is that
and
something?
it's on the front page of the website.
Are we staying current on everything there?
I mean, some of it's going to depend on what departments give him to put on there.
How is that for Chris? I mean, is that kind of a pain for him to do? Doesn't our Civic Plus program that was it Civic Plus? Is that what we got? Or what's the,
That's the one we were talking about with the QR code.
Civic Ready.
or whatever we have? Don't we have a program that could potentially do that stuff for us? And the department head just logs into it and.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
I get a lot of emails.
With our website. The only thing I've got right now that automatically posts to the website is when I enter the agenda and the approved minutes in your SharePoint. He's got that set to automatically post those on the website. But like.
So any other time a department head, is it like a a work order he has to do? I mean, is it a pain for him to do that?
I don't, I mean, I
Sure,
don't
it's a
think
pain,
it
but
typically
it's
takes
his
very
job.
long, but I gave him a whole bunch of updates for my page on it recently and got personnel changes listed, and then I started posting some election notices and stuff, but they,
Could that fall under like economic development, you think, instead? If that's what he wanted, if Chris wanted to do that?
What now?
Could that duty of updating, keeping the website up to date daily, take that off of Chris and maybe do that as part of the economic development's daily duty, maybe?
no, I did just get a message back from Mr. Holder. He is available.
Okay.
So, what I had sent him was 10:15, which we're almost there now. So,
You want to go ahead and get all set up?
if we want to,
I might reach out to Chris, or if you can hear me,
We could do that.
Get his input on it.
So just see what.
because I know that, and there's a lot of people that really rely on the internet, and I know Chris has a lot going on. So if that's, Chris, your input is necessary here. So let us know. Thanks.
so he had told me, he as in the attorney, that he thought probably 15 minutes would take care of what he needed. I was thinking maybe if you, well, it's almost time now, do like 20 minutes and give us enough time to,
Get set up.
Get set up.
We're just going to do it right here and shut the doors.
well, I've got the phone
Oh, it's
there
already in
hooked
there
up,
now?
yeah.
Okay.
Had it hooked up last week, and
So what's our motion going to be here? 20 minutes?
so 20 minutes for obtaining legal advice. And I've got it listed that, and I thought, I don't know if Darren would be useful in that one or not, but it's concerning something that he has information on.
So can
So
we just state his name if he comes
I
in?
think it could be helpful, at least for part of it.
So let me get this wrong, but we're going to go into executive session. I'll make a motion to go into executive session for 20 minutes for legal advice. And it could include Darren with,
And then the attorney, Andrew Holder.
that's my motion.
I'll second it.
Motion been moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I had reached out to the interviewee, and I ain't heard back yet. I think they're out of town. And Darren, I talked to Darren too because he had talked to him too, and he said they're out of town until Thursday. But so I haven't really got an answer on if it'd be a good decision to do next week a night meeting or a morning meeting. So, but since she's already scheduled, I think she's scheduled for the morning. So do you guys want to leave it there and then we can make a decision next week after that?
For what we do going forward, that's fine.
You good with that, Jim?
Yeah.
So next week will be a morning meeting, not an evening meeting. So it's just so everybody's on the same page. That's all we have on the schedule. Oh, there's some stuff that Sean had to get out of here. Anything you guys want to add to it?
I don't have anything.
Jim, got anything?
I don't have anything.
David?
I'm good.
All right. Well, with that, I will make a motion that we adjourn for the day.
I'll second it.
Motion been moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
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 Can you pass me that? You're fine. Thank you.